I am so impressed at how well Dyno works with playlists. Every operator I've shown this to has the same expression, a big huge smile on their face, and the words that come out of their mouths, wow, it's about time. Nobody does it like this. To add a clip to a playlist, I select a clip, hit Add PL, and that goes right into the playlist. If I go to my playlist, I see it there. Another way to get a clip into a playlist is to select it, say Copy, go to my playlist, and select an empty pad, and say Paste, and it drops it right in there. To add more clips to the playlist, I go back to my highlights, and I select one clip, hold down the Function key, and multi-select. Now, in the order that I make my selection, when I say Add to PL, it will actually drop it in that order into the playlist. If I'd like to move the clips around in the playlist, I can use my finger to click, drag, and drop, and resort the order. Let's say I'd like to insert a clip in the playlist, but at this location. I go to my highlights area, and I select this clip. Let's say I'd like all 4 angles of that particular clip in the playlist. I hit the Function key and say Add to PL. And now when I go to the playlist, it's dropped all 4 angles into the playlist. Another playlist for this example, Shift New PL, is my third playlist that I've created. I go to my highlights area, and I'm going to group select clips. So I'm going to select this first one, hit the Shift key, and select this group. And now when I say Add Playlist, and I go to my playlist, it dropped in one angle, the primary angle from each one of those highlight clips. So far I've created 3 playlists, and I'd like to name them. I hit the nav bar, and I see the playlists that I have currently. So I select the first one, hit Enter on the keyboard, and name it. Just calling that one Highlight. This one I can name too. And this one I could name as well, simply by hitting the Enter key, typing, and hitting the Enter key. When I create a new playlist, I can either way Shift New, and creates a new playlist, or I also have Shift New PL over here. So 2 different ways to create new playlists. The 2 grayed out playlists are ready to have clips added to them. Double tap to open it up, and you're ready to go. This power screen is called that for a reason. Everything we can do on the controller, but this is extra real estate and makes us more efficient and even more creative. This is why. With my mouse, I select a clip, click, drag, and drop, and it goes right into the playlist. I select a different clip, drag and drop. Now if I'd like to change the order of the clips, I select a clip, drag, and drop, and it changes the order. To work on 2 different playlists at the same time, I can click on this double arrow. That'll open up an entirely new playlist pane. Now I can use these 2 arrows to choose which playlist gets loaded into that pane. And from there, I can go ahead and continue to either way move clips around or add clips to both playlists from my sources. Now to queue a playlist, I hit the playlist button 3 times, and it queues to the top, and it shows here with an orange band. To play it back, I can use the play button, or I can use the T-bar and actually do slow motion through that entire clip. Now when it gets to the transition point, it'll cut, because I haven't assigned a transition yet. While the playback is happening, I can also use the take button to manually advance through the playlist and ignore the out points for that clip. I can also turn on loop mode on the fly. And once the clip gets to the bottom of its out point, or I hit the take button, it'll go back to the top of the first clip and continue to play. The K2 Dyno is the only replay system in the industry that allows you to do loop mode on the fly. So I'm going to turn loop mode off, but I'd like to trim my clips. So I use the jog knob and navigate to where my out point is, and I hit out. Go to the next clip. That one's fine, but this one I'd like to start here. So mark it in, and it's adjusted my in point. Let's back up to this clip here, the second one. Very short, it's only 23 frames. If I'd like to make that bigger, I go Shift, Trim. That turns on the trim mode, and notice the 2 white arrows. That shows me that I have more content to play with. I have the guard bands. So I back up with my jog knob and say, hey, I'd like that to be my new in. And I'm happy with the out point of where that was. So I hit Take, to accept the changes to that clip. And it's now 4 seconds and 13 frames long. I'm going to re-cue back to the top of the playlist and start hitting play. Now, a cool feature that we have is that I can change the order while the playlist is playing. Again, nobody in the industry does this. If I'd like to add a transition, I can turn on my transitions and do this all while it's playing. I can select the first clip that's already played and go copy, come down here, and hit paste. And now it's at the end as well as the beginning. Another great feature of the Dyno is that it allows you to do playlists on both output channels with dissolves at the same time. I select P1 and cue that playlist, go over to P2, and I can choose from the different playlists that I'd like to cue as well. Let's say playlist number 1, and cue that playlist. And turn on some transitions, select both P1 and P2, put it in gang mode, and hit play. And it now plays both playlists at the same time. Now if I'd like the same ME to be applied to all of the clips, I just select it here. And now it's applied to all of the clips, the same mixed effect. Or I can take the effects away by just saying no mix. All right, already some pretty cool things that work in the playlist area, but there's one more that I've got to show you, and it's aux audio. We allow to import 16-bit 48K WAV files directly through the library tool and allow you to use that in the aux area as many times as you want. You actually get your own little aux audio playlist within a playlist. So you can add the same clip as many times as you want and trim it to your liking, or add different clips to that aux audio area. No more having to record baseband video just to get the audio out of it. I enable this feature by selecting Enable Aux, and I get this yellow banded area. That's where my aux audio clips are going to land. I'm going to go to my highlights bin, and I've created a folder called Music, and I've already dropped in a clip in there. That's that 16-bit 48K WAV file, and I brought that in on a USB stick directly into the Dyno controller, copy and pasted it right into that folder. So I'm going to select it, say copy, go to my playlist, put it there, and say paste. That clip is now part of the entire playlist and will play for 4 minutes and 10 seconds according to that time. When I cue the playlist 3 times with the playlist button and then hit play, you'll see that it plays both the clips and the aux audio clip. Let me change one more thing. If I'd like to take this clip and duplicate it, say copy and paste, I now have that clip in there twice. If I'd like to trim it, I'll select this first one, cue it up, scrub in, say that that's my out point. Then I can go to this clip, and by selecting Shift Bottom, it takes me to the out point of this clip. Now I can back up, mark it in, and now I have the last 11 seconds of that song being played in this playlist. Hit the playlist button to cue it up, and now it plays. If I do slow motion, it only affects the video portion of the playback. The aux audio will continue to play back at 100%. So all the features that work in the playlist area also work in the aux audio area. Very simple to manipulate your ins and outs or use that shift trim mode in order to make those clips longer or shorter. Your choice. Now, one really nice feature is adding to the playlist directly from live, straight from marking an in and hitting Add PL. Watch. I'm going to disable the aux audio, so there's more of the playlist area that I want to focus on. I would like to add a clip to this area directly from live. So in live mode, let's say I've backed up to this spot right here and I mark an in. When I say Add to PL, it quickly adds a clip directly to the playlist area, but at the same time creates a highlight in the last folder that I had open. Efficiency is what I'm after. I made a highlight at the same time while adding it to the playlist. Now I can focus on being creative. If I've added clips to the playlist and then I review the playlist and I realize that maybe there would be a better angle to one play, I can change that very easily. I open the playlist, select a clip that I'd like to change the angle on, hold down the function key, and choose a different angle. and it very quickly updates the angle in the playlist. Now when I re-cue and it comes through, it will play that particular clip with that particular angle. I can do this while it's playing. Change the angle of the clip. So the clip duration information that I'm looking for is presented right here on the thumbnail of each highlight clip, and it counts down. To the left of that, I see the countdown timer of the entire playlist, as well as what the duration is of the entire playlist when it was playing back at 100%. So slow motion will actually change the value of the countdown timer of both the entire playlist and each clip. You can see that as I make the adjustment with the T-bar. Goes up to 100%, you can see that it is changing the values of those items. The same information is available in the channel viewer built into the K2 Summit. In the upper left-hand corner, I see the clip position of the playlist. In the upper right, I see the countdown timer of the actual clip. And in the bottom right, I see the countdown timer of the entire playlist. So one of the things that I definitely want to have control of is a clip's speed in the playlist itself. I can go ahead and define that value of the clip just like this. So I select the clip that I'd like to change the value of, go into the information pane, go to the speed box. Let's say I'm going to make this 74%, hit OK, go back, and there it's changed the value to 74%. So now when this clip plays, it'll play back at 74%, and it'll leave the rest playing at 100%. So I hit play, I go ahead and hit the take button to manually advance. But when it gets to this clip, it'll play it back at 74%. Wow, great features in the playlist area. I want to assure you that Grass Valley is committed to developing additional features in the future.